They call her the Iron Mind of Texas. For decades, Judge Edith Jones has commanded the courtroom. Sharp, composed, unshaken. Her judgments have shaped the very spine of American law. Some call her fearless, others call her merciless. But today, something feels different. In this courtroom, she doesn't face a criminal or a corrupt official. She faces an idea. A question so powerful, it splits America down the middle. Who decides what a woman can or cannot do with her own body? And across the courtroom, standing like a storm ready to break, is Claire Monroe, a young attorney whose words have already ignited movements outside these walls. The air is thick. Cameras are banned, but for those who witness this debate, the echoes will never fade. Welcome to CrossTalk, arena where justice speaks louder than politics. The case is titled State of Texas vs. Reproductive Autonomy, a challenge brought against the state's law that mandates medical procedures, including compulsory ultrasounds, before any woman can terminate a pregnancy. Judge Edith Jones, known for her conservative rulings, presides. But what makes this case extraordinary is that the defense doesn't represent one woman. It represents all of them. Claire Monroe, 32 years old, Harvard Law graduate, raised by a single mother in Houston. She steps forward not with anger but with conviction, and this is how the story begins. The courtroom is silent. Cameras off, pens ready, breaths held. Judge Jones leans forward, glasses resting low on her nose. She looks at Claire like a professor, studies a student before the final exam. Ms. Monroe, she says, you may begin your argument. Claire doesn't rush. She knows every second counts. She adjusts the microphone. Her hands tremble slightly. Then she begins. Claire's voice is soft, but every word slices the air. Your Honor, this case isn't about abortion. It's about control. It's about whether the state can stand between a woman and her doctor, between her body and her choice. She paces slowly, turning toward the benches packed with silent observers. The law mandates that a woman undergo a medically unnecessary ultrasound before exercising her right to choose. It pretends to be about information, but it's about interference. It's about the illusion of guidance, used to enforce guilt. Her words echo, and for a brief second, Judge Jones doesn't move. She's calculating, dissecting, silently measuring every syllable. Then Judge Jones speaks, calm, even like a metronome of reason. Ms. Monroe, she begins, the law doesn't restrict a woman's choice. It ensures it's informed. We live in a society where life, even potential life, carries moral weight. The state has both the right and the duty to ensure decisions of such magnitude are not made in haste. Informed. Consent, she continues, is not coercion, it is responsibility. The courtroom hums, a quiet mix of awe and resistance. Claire takes a breath, leans in slightly and whispers, just loud enough for the record. Sometimes, Your Honor, what looks like guidance feels like control. It's a rare sight. Judge Jones doesn't interrupt. She listens, not because she agrees, but because she respects the mind across the aisle. There's something about Claire, something she can't dismiss. The fire of youth, the weight of purpose. And so begins a debate that will test not just the limits of law, but the boundaries of empathy. Claire steps forward with documents. Your Honor, medical associations across the country agree. Such laws are unnecessary and harmful. They add cost, shame, and delay. They push vulnerable women deeper into fear. That is not justice. That is policy dressed as morality. Judge Jones doesn't flinch. Policy is morality. Ms. Monroe, it's the mechanism by which a society defines its values. If we abandon moral grounding, we abandon the very essence of law. The tension grows like a storm, cloud. Every line spoken feels like a hammer, striking the Constitution itself. Claire's jaw tightens. She lowers her tone. Personal. Now, my mother was 17 when she had me. Your Honor, she had no choice, because laws like these made her believe she didn't deserve one. She raised me alone, and she taught me this. If your freedom depends on someone else's permission, it isn't freedom. Even Judge Jones, for a fleeting moment, looks away. Inside that pause, something shifts. No one speaks. But the silence tells a story. Judge Jones remembers the years she fought through law school, the headlines, the prejudice, the long road to becoming one of the most powerful women in the judiciary. She knows what it means to fight the system. Yet here she is, defending it. Maybe justice isn't black or white. Maybe it's the gray between conviction and compassion. Judge Jones straightens her robe. Ms. Monroe, the Constitution doesn't promise comfort. It promises order. The state's duty is not to shield citizens from moral consequence. Claire's reply is instant, calm, surgical, and yet, Your Honor, when that moral consequence only targets women, it stops being law and starts being oppression. The courtroom vibrates with the weight of her words. Somewhere, a reporter's pen stops mid-sentence. Judge Jones leans in, her tone lower now. You think I don't understand the cost of womanhood, Ms. Monroe? I've lived it. I've judged it. I've defended it. But the law isn't empathy, it's structure. If we let emotion dictate judgment, we replace order with chaos. Claire looks at her, almost with sorrow. Then maybe, Your Honor, justice was never meant to be emotionless. The turning point. The air grows heavier. Both women stand in silence, the kind that only truth can create. Then the narrator breaks it. In that moment, the courtroom no longer felt like walls and wood. It felt like America itself, divided, questioning, trembling between right and righteous. Judge Jones delivers her statement. The law stands to protect all citizens, even those not yet born, Claire answers, slowly, clearly. And yet, Your Honor, by protecting the unborn, we sometimes forget the living. Gasps ripple through the benches. But Judge Jones doesn't scold her. Instead, she smiles faintly. Not victory. Respect. The final words are not shouted. They're whispered. Claire said, if the law can mandate what happens inside a woman's body, where does it stop? Can it decide when she becomes a mother, or when she stops being one? Judge Jones said, freedom is not the absence of boundaries, Ms. Monroe. It's knowing where they begin and why they exist. The gavel doesn't fall. Not yet, because this debate isn't meant to end here. It's meant to echo in every living room, every law school, every conscience. The hearing adjourns. Judge Jones steps away, stoic, unreadable. Claire gathers her notes and exhausted, but proud. Outside, protesters chant, both sides screaming justice, both believing they're right. And somewhere between those voices lies the truth neither could silence. Who controls a woman's choice? The law or the woman herself? You decide. This was CrossTalk Arena, where logic meets life and judgment meets humanity.